Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Libra in mid-November 2020. What is going on, Libra? How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. All right, Libra, welcome to mid-November. If you are celebrating the Thanksgiving holiday at the end of this month, I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving. If you are getting together for that Thanksgiving, meeting together face to face, I hope that face has a certain item on it, okay? If you are getting together with friends and family for the holiday, please be very careful. Please take all precautions necessary so that you can keep yourself and others healthy at this time. And in general, Libra, I am hoping that you are safe, happy, healthy, and secure at this time. 2020 is still outside, bouncing around, just doing what it wants to do. And the pandemic is still very much a thing that we all need to be concerned about, or aware of at least. So please, again, take all precautions no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, okay? Any other announcements? No. So let's just go ahead and get into it, Libra. Anything you want from me, it's already in the description box below. If you're looking for the timestamp, it is down there. If you're interested in getting a personal reading with me, that information is also down there. If you have a question before you place an order, email me at the same address you see that listed down there, and I will answer you as soon as I can. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, then the name over there is EmpathicFire Tarot, and if you want to see the link for that, it's directly down below in the description box, okay? All right, Libra. Short and sweet, sort of, kind of. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see some messages for Libra at this time in mid-November, please. Libra, mid-November, messages for them, please. Feels like a three bridges. Interesting. Maybe. Let's see if I'm right. I've been trying to guess what they want from me these days. Yes, they're like, yep, you got it. Okay, good. Yeah, okay, wow, that's good. All right, guys, let's get into it. For Libra, please, show me in mid-November. No. Thank you. That one. They want that one. Okay. Ten of Swords. One more, possibly. I think so, yeah. One more. Libra in mid-November. Please show me. Okay, there it goes. Knight of Cups. Is that right? Yeah, well, hold on. Is that right? Yes, okay. For some reason, they got a little jokey there. Because normally we start with 3. Unless like 2 come out in one position, we normally start with 3. Anyway, first card out was the King of Swords. Then it was the Ten of Swords and the Knight of Cups. Libra, Libra, Libra. I feel like the situation is whatever you're dealing with, whoever you're dealing with, it feels very fraught. Icy is the better word. Icy. I feel that there's a potential for you and someone to be going through sort of a a war of the roses. Okay, that I'm using that not in the historical sense. I'm using that in the sense of like it's a 1980s movie with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner in it, in which we have a married couple. Not saying this is the plot of the movie. This could be your story, but I'm not picking up on marriage heavily. So if you're not married, don't worry about it. But the tone is what I'm going after. So a couple that's happily married, seeking a divorce, and the divorce turns ugly. The divorce turns very brutal. Hence the title, War of the Roses, right? So it's a war within one household, okay? That's more the energy I'm getting here. Is there's a war within a household or intimate collection of people, a workplace situation, a circle of friends, whatever it is, yeah? And this war can be won, I feel, either forcefully or peacefully. Somebody has to choose. But in the center, and this is, I think you're the first reading maybe the second that I'm starting with the center position. I don't ever really intend to read linearly, and it's not past, present, future that I'm reading anyway, but I usually read left to right because that's just how I read normal language. But I feel really compelled to feel that the Ten of Swords is the anchor here, where there's the complication. The anchor feels to me to be a sense of betrayal, a sense of being stabbed in the back, a sense of being left for dead, a sense of being abandoned, a sense of possibly taking on too much, taking on too, like, I feel like barbs, like when you hit someone with barbs, criticism. So someone feels like really abused verbally, since we've got swords here. So there's just this feeling of it's too much, or it's gone past a certain expiration, or a certain, like, this is overkill is what this feels like. And maybe that's a reaction to the icy atmosphere. Maybe there is a lack of communication, because the King of Swords is much more silent than the Queen of Swords would be. Even though the kings are known to be active, I feel the King of Swords is sort of passive sometimes, not all the time, but this king is striking me as passive in this moment. So there could be a lack of communication, a lack of connection between you and other people, or one particular person, I'm not sure yet. And it's just, you might feel it's gone too far, and you might be looking for them to sort of let their walls down, let you in, talk to you, let's just, bury the hatchet here, come on, bridge under the water, all that kind of stuff. Or they want that from you. It's a general, it can go vice versa. But I'm not sure that that's feasible. Or as this iciness continues, as the walls stay up, as no olive branch is extended from either side, or the olive branch that is extended goes ignored, it it creates this sort of resentment. I feel someone here is like angry that their apology or their effort to mend fences isn't being received. I feel someone feels really betrayed by that. Like, I'm sensing on one side it's like a straw that broke the camel's back, and that's enough. That's the last time this is going to happen between us, or I've heard this before, never again. And someone is sort of holding the line, and someone's offended that they're holding. It's that's not for everybody. That's like one story where someone's bad behavior became too much for another person, and that felt like a betrayal. And now that this person stands and says, you know what, I'm not going to allow you to do that to me anymore. I'm not going to allow you to treat me this way, speak to me this way, whatever. That offends the person who was the offender. Does that make sense? That's not for everybody. In some cases, this is a mutual misunderstanding, or a mutual butting of heads, where both parties kind of have a hand in quote unquote the fault of the situation. In in that story, it feels like maybe it was like gossipy or something. Like, you said some things, they said some things, you said some rumors, or pepper oh my god, I can't even say it, perpetrated, thank you, some rumors, they said some rumors, just like a bunch of catty shit. Not to say it has to be between two females to say that, because let me tell you, quick little sidebar here. When I start working where I work now, I gotta tell you, men gossip a lot. Like, a lot. I never noticed it in my previous jobs, but this job that I have now, oh my god. They want to talk about how ladies gossip, men gossip so hard. Anyway, so it doesn't have to be cattiness between women. It could be cattiness between two men, a male and a female. It doesn't matter. And it's like mutual. Like, both parties really are not in the clear. But again, it's like it's not me. Someone in this situation is it's not me. It's not my fault. And that's coming from this Knight of Cups energy. I got to tell you. So, interesting. Now that we've interesting, we're going to talk about the King of Swords last. That's very interesting. So, Knight of Cups, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, could be dealing with a water sign. You don't have to be. This Knight of Cups is really trying to, like, play the innocent, act, play as though they've done nothing wrong, they've said nothing wrong, there's no reason for anybody to have bad feelings towards them, there's no reason for anybody to distrust them, there's no reason that anybody should feel like betrayed by them or stabbed in the back by them, even though they're walking around carrying a knife. Even, and that's not on the card, but like there's this sort of willful ignorance or willful blindness to their own deeds. Like the Knight of Cups normally is a loving character, is a very light-hearted person. Not to say this person, but the character in tarot is normally, you know, very giving and all that kind of stuff, and not one for confrontation. And maybe that's also what's going on here. Maybe this person is so passive, or that's like normally what they do. They don't get into confrontations, that when one single confrontation comes up, then the claws come out. It's like that. It's sort of like a like a kitty in a corner, you know. You know, this person is normally you know, all just like regular, just like strutting around the house, no big deal. But when a cat gets threatened, like, I mean, you're on YouTube now, do it after the video, but just go ahead and like Google some cat videos where cats are sometimes acting real normal, then they sense danger, they feel boxed into a small space, and all of a sudden, and what was I saying earlier? Cattiness, right? So the demeanor of this person regularly is very calm, collected, loving, very, very, you know, kumbaya, you know, not, I mean, look at this kid on this card, and the girl who's like, oh, look at Billy, you know, very impressive, like charming, if not impressive, charming. But when the claws come out, when there's a stabby potential, this person might take the shot. So gossiping, in some senses, this is someone who, because that is also part of the Knight of Cups, they can be sort of foolhardy. They can kind of lead with their heart. And the heart, as much as, you know, many tarot readers will tell you, follow your heart, follow love. Let me tell you, some people can lean on that too much, and it can get them into all sorts of trouble for all sorts of reasons. And so that's what I'm feeling here, is like someone with their charm, with their grace, with their very, you know, possibly, you know, good looks, traditionally speaking. You know, he looks too young for me. But, you know, they might have utilized or relied heavily on those more quote-unquote positive traits that kind of pushes past people's boundaries, or again gets them into trouble. So if they are good looking, if this was let's say a potential dating partner or a committed partner, this Knight of Cups, flirting all the time, might be just a natural part of their personality. Now, is that to say that they're a cheat? Don't know. We haven't gotten that far into the reading. But it's that cavalier attitude, that, you know, flowing and just having a good time, just wanting to enjoy life, you know, kind of energy can be off-putting if we're in committed relationships, if we're in situations and circumstances that require some sort of seriousness from the person who is represented in the Knight of Cups energy, okay? Knight versus a king, if this is a mutual partnership of dating, of business partnership, co-workers, people within a family, you know, whatever reason, this king and this knight, in terms of energy, in terms of what they bring to the table, are a mismatch, okay? So I feel the Knight of Cups, both parties are not off the hook. Let me just go ahead and say both parties are not off the hook. So Knight of Cups might be a little too, you know, fun and fancy free, too non-committal, too not serious enough, okay? And it's a knight, so it's kind of relative to young adult energy, you know, still learning the ropes. So there is a potential to make mistakes over and over again, and possibly still not learning from them, because they didn't show up as a queen and they didn't show up as a king, which in my estimation are the two masters of each suit. So this King of Swords, kind of not in the mood for this. Air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This could be you. It doesn't have to be. You could be the Knight of Cups. It could, you know, flip it around, do what you need to do, because it is a general reading. But this air sign energy, this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, like, look at how he's like really like sussing that barbecue. Like, I feel like that's the look he would be giving to the Knight of Cups, right? Just like eyebrow raised, head kind of cocked to the side, like, are you serious? Like, this is what you're doing? This is how you're acting? This is how you're behaving? This is what you have to say to me? This is how you want to show up today? This is how you think business is done? This is how you think our relationship is supposed to be going? Oh, no, ma'am. No, sir. Whoever it is, no gender in a general reading, and the signs are only relevant if you feel they resonate, okay? But the King of Swords, like I told you earlier, is very decisive, very discerning. I didn't tell you that earlier. What I told you earlier is not really talking. That is here. Like, again, just to show you the illustration here. I don't know about you. I don't know what movies you've seen, or I don't know what, family barbecues you've gone to. But there's always this guy at the family barbecue, at the cookout, who's manning the grill or standing very close by to the grill, or just holding a beer and nursing that beer, and not super talkative. And it doesn't have to be a man, that I'm talking about in your storyline, but the archetype of this person is normally stoic, on the task of manning the barbecue, making sure everybody has something to eat, making sure that the hot dogs and the burgers go on at the right time and everything like that, but not coordinating everything, not telling other people what to do, not making big announcements other than, hot dogs are ready, and that's all you hear for them. And then like an hour later, all right, and then I'm about to put the ribs on and whatever. It's like only talking about the task at hand. Very, what is in front of me? What am I supposed to be, focused on at this time, right? Not talking about extraneous stuff or any peripheral stuff. So that's what I mean. This person is very straight up. What's going on in this connection we have? What's going on with this business relationship? What are you doing, Knight of Cups? Doesn't want to talk about the weather, doesn't want to talk about, the sports score, doesn't want to do any of that stuff. Only wants to talk about the matter at hand, what's important to this person's goal or the task that they are in charge of, or the role that they are playing in the dynamic, right? I think, yes, key information, like I was saying, like announcing when things are going on and off of the grill. This person, again, doesn't like dive deep into the emotions of it, but they're constantly observing, watching, listening, waiting, analyzing, things like that. Because that's what you're doing when you're, at the grill, right? You're watching, you're checking the timer, you're putting the cheese on at the right time. It's like being concentrated on the task. And I feel the Knight of Cups doesn't have that dedication, doesn't have that focus, and that drives the King of Swords up a wall. Now, at some point, like we were talking in the beginning, the Ten of Swords happened in this scenario. Something happened where one or both sides feel betrayed by the other, stabbed in the back by the other, or there's some iciness between you for some reason. Libra, you're on either side of this. You take your pick on where you are in the story. But I feel we've got two people who are not showing up as equals and are both kind of pointing the finger at the other. Because I don't think either party wants to admit that they did something wrong. They both did. I gotta be honest. Energetically, I can see it. Because you're not doing yourself any favors over here, King of Swords, by not, speaking about all the issues, or speaking when you need to, or giving further detail. And the Knight of Cups is not doing themselves any favors by being, non-committal, or being somebody who can't really take things seriously and doesn't know or doesn't learn from their own mistakes. So both have made some missteps here. Both have done some things or said some things that they probably shouldn't, or at least they're just like letting it lie. They're not really addressing it because of the icy no communication thing that I'm feeling here. Interesting. So let's get some further information here for you. I don't think I need to clarify anything. All of that feels pretty, pretty much what it is. I don't think there's extra. I think you know who everybody is, okay? And I think you understand why things are icy. So let's just get some further information here for Libra. Further information for Libra, please. No, okay. I thought something flipped, but that just fell to the table, so we'll take that. One more, please. What else is happening here in this situation? Further information for Libra. Yes. Okay. So the first one was the Devil. Okay. And the Seven of Pentacles. Talk about it. So, Devil energy, or Devil card. That's Capricorn energy. You could be dealing with a Capricorn, but you don't have to be. And Seven of Pentacles. Okay. So, we've got problems here related to conditions, or conditioning, I should say, conditioning. The Devil is, I feel, a bit of a trouble spot, but I don't think it's recognized yet how much of a trouble spot this is. It can be an external person, if there are two people here, let's just say two. It doesn't literally have to be two, one person versus another. It could be 2 versus 3. It could be 3 on 3. It could be, 15 versus 4. It doesn't matter how many people are on either side here. But I feel how entangled, how messy, how that's an interesting word. Disturbing is the word they gave me. How disturbing or unsettling or something that this situation is really highlighted with this Devil energy. Because again, I'm getting conditions or conditional or conditioning, something like that. So if this is a relationship, there is sort of like this normalcy in each party's mind, but actually that's not what it is. It looks like it's normal, or at least it feels normal because that's all you know, but objectively, it's not really normal. Objectively, if, War of the Roses, going back to that movie, if you've seen it, good, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I don't even know if you could stream it anywhere. I'm not sure if it's available, but see if you could find some clips here on YouTube. Basically, and I said that beginning, what started off well or very good, and they had a passionate beginning to their relationship, by the end of the movie, Jesus, did they ever really like each other? So that could be what's going on. There's like a possible, for some of you, a devolving situation, a devolving quality to your relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. We could be talking about friends. We could be talking about family. But that's sort of what I'm sensing here, is there's a conditioned acceptance of this because you've lived in it for so long. You think it's normal. And I mean, look at what's depicted here on this card. Cigarettes, cheese in a damn can, knockoff spam in a can, medication, drinking, and this very delicious looking cake. If you indulge in all of those things regularly, are you living a healthy life? No. If you smoke, you're probably doing a lot of, irreversible damage to your body, right? If you eat fucking chocolate cake all the time, you're probably going to pack on the pounds. It's just not something you should regularly do. But again, I think the quality of this relationship, how you get along or how you have been getting along, maybe that's the normal part of it. Me talking about this icy situation, maybe you're used to that. Maybe you're used to long stretches of time with your friend where you don't talk. They're off doing their thing, you're doing your thing, and everybody feels salty and everybody feels like they did the thing and they said this and they did the blah, 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 blah. And then eventually you guys come back together and, you patch it up for a little bit. But then you part ways again and it's this on and off again, blah, 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 blah. That's not normal. And if it is rather, it might be normal in terms of you're used to it, but it's not healthy. That's the bigger part. So let me go ahead and amend that. Instead of normal, let's say it's not healthy. because everything that's on that devil card. And the devil card, that energy in tarot speaks to indulging in things that aren't good for us, but we do it over and over and over again because we're conditioned to it. We are convinced it is what we deserve. We are convinced that's the best we can do. We are convinced that this is a loving relationship or a very close bond between friends or family. And that, again, it's like normalized, even though it's not necessarily normal nor healthy. Okay? Seven of Pentacles next to it. Evaluation. So in this icy period, maybe something's changing in the dynamic a little bit. Maybe you, Libra, or the other person, or both of you are doing a little extra study, doing a little extra perusing, or trying to figure out why this time it feels a little different. It might not. Oh wait, maybe it does, because what is a 10? 10 of Swords in the first card that we talked about. 10s equal culmination points. It doesn't always have to lead to permanent endings, but it does equal we've hit the breaking point of something. We've reached capacity for something because we can no longer add to it. If we there's nothing beyond a 10 in terms of the pip cards in tarot. It goes ace to 10, that's it. We dust off the 10, or we clear the slate with the 10, and we go back down to the ace. So nothing else can be added here. So there, or rather, there's been a breaking point, a cap point. We've reached the ceiling here. Maybe the fallout this time was really nasty, or maybe it was just the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm so tired. It could be, due to the holidays. It could be this could be a sibling relationship or a family dynamic in some type of way. And maybe every time the holidays comes around, Knight of Cups possibly starts drinking too much, right? Is always, hitting the sauce before they have to carve the turkey or some shit. Who knows? And that's annoying. Or that's become too much to bear for the King of Swords, perhaps. So maybe this time there's something different is being considered, being evaluated, being studied, right? I feel that the King of Swords is the one doing it more so than the Knight of Cups. I feel the Knight of Cups is a lot more, let's just, bury the hatchet here, let's just get back to normal. And the King of Swords is kind of holding the line and saying, no, I'm not into that. And remember, I told you that in the beginning, some of you, the person who is the original offender, possibly the Knight of Cups, or let's just go with that. It doesn't have to be your storyline, but hear me out. During the holidays, somebody takes to drinking or takes to some type of bad behavior, some type of habitual bad behavior with the devil energy, impulsive energy, compulsive energy, okay, coming out here, possible addictions, fixations, or obsessions, right? And they go hard on it for whatever reason. Maybe that's how they deal with stress. That's how they deal with anxiety. I don't know. But it is just, it's too much for the King of Swords to deal with. And if you've been doing that consistently in your friendships, your family life, your committed relationships of a romantic sense, and you do that all the time, every time something big happens, you turn to the bottle, you go and you disappear on me, and I have to take care of this and that by myself, it's too much. So I feel someone has hit their breaking point. And it's because someone was not, again, serious enough. And so there's sort of like this, I can't take that anymore. I'm not going to deal with that anymore. Or again, someone is used to coming back around and, going out, having their fill, all right, well, now that I've been drunk for 4 days straight, it's time for me to go back home and play happy family with my husband or my wife. Or whoever is home, my kids or whatever, and all of a sudden the door locks are changed. What? And somebody's like, open the door, and the person on the other side is like, no, that's enough. Been studying this pattern, been studying this unhealthy thing that's going on between us, or that you have within you. And again, the King of Swords is partially to blame, so please don't think I'm taking sides here. But I feel like there's just like this no coming. If not, it's already here. This firm no. And that is going to make someone pretty upset. I don't want to say angry. I don't want to say sad. It's just going to upset somebody. But that's what happens, you know, when these dynamics change. That's what happens when you try to address low vibe energy that the devil brings. What you're essentially saying is, I'm not here for the bullshit. And when you say that to people who are here for the bullshit, you now have an impasse, do you not? I'm not here for that, but I am. Well, what are we going to do? We're at a stalemate. It's icy between us, yeah? So let's get one card of advice, and then we're going to end your reading, Libra. One card of advice for Libra in this situation, please. One card of advice for Libra in this situation. Ooh, it's almost time for dinner. I haven't eaten since, what, 12? Or earlier? Oh, gosh. Gotta get better with feeding myself. Anyway, one card of advice for Libra, please. Four of Wands. Interesting. Came out in the side position. I'm not sure if that matters. Let's see. Sort of matters is how they're making me feel. Sort of matters. So I'll hold it up to you. That's how it fell on the table facing me. So Four of Wands, side position. So for some of you where this is a friend, a family member, somebody that you live with, someone that you work with, there might need to be sort of this negotiation is how this feels. Negotiation over what happens next in this space we both have to occupy. Because as much as someone might have changed the locks on somebody, I don't think they're going to like completely close this person out of their life or like leave them like sleeping on the street or anything like that. I feel as though there will be an opening up of the door, and we're going to have to talk about what happens when you cross over this threshold. Like, yeah, I feel like this negotiation, we can't, and also look at like what the artwork is in the upright. Like, even though I feel like this house is, like, I feel like, you can see it. The house is still being constructed below, right? Because there's something going on the roof. There's like a man who's laying down roofing right there where my finger is. But then this woman is just kicking her feet up, and she's got a cocktail, and she looks very relaxed. So I feel like possibly in whatever type of relationship this is, however many people are involved, one side, whether it's one person or 15 people, I don't care, versus the other side, one is willing to do work and the other is just like, I think I'll have another cocktail. Anybody else want a mimosa? Anybody? You know? And that's a problem regardless of what type of relationship we're talking about. Friend, lover, otherwise. I don't care. If one side says, I'm going to do the work, and the other side says, I'm not really interested in doing the work, or time goes by and then one side says, okay, now I'm ready to do the work, and the other side is like, well, I already did it, or, well, now that you made me wait so long, I'm no longer interested. This is just like an impasse. And as a card of advice, I feel it's in the side position because it's not you, Libra, and or the other person really hasn't hit that true breaking point. Like, I did say that before, that this is a certain breaking point, or we've hit a capacity. And I think that's true to a certain extent. But because of the normalcy of possibly toxic behavior or toxic reactions and connection and all that, there is still like this apprehension to just throw it all out, so to speak, quote unquote, throw it all out or restructure everything. If you're in business with a person and they're not pulling their weight, if you're trying to start a business and someone's not making it to the meeting, someone doesn't have any creative input, somebody doesn't have the capital, you're ready to put down money on a brick and mortar place, or you're ready to commit money to a certain project and your business partner is showing up dollars short. It's like, well, we've been working on this thing for the past 3 years. Do we just toss out what we've created? Maybe that's it, because, yes, four of Wands and 4 speak to foundation. So you already have something underneath your feet with this other person, Libra. And it's kind of shitty to all of a sudden say, well, that's the end, and throw it all out. And it makes sense that it's in the side position because you had the 7 of Pentacles come out. That's the analysis. And I told you earlier with the King of Swords, that's analysis. That's thinking about trying to figure out the best way to move forward, plotting, getting a game plan together. If we're going to work on this, we got to both be committed. And then let me tell you, let me remind you again, this is not me trying to say it can't happen, but let me remind you, king versus knight. That is a discrepancy in energetic contribution. Someone comes in a higher level, not saying they're better, they're just at a higher level of self-mastery or certain mastery, okay? If not mastery of the self, mastery of communications maybe. Versus a knight, still forming, still percolating, still growing, okay? That is your reading, Libra. I don't want to ramble on at you, but you know, that's kind of my style anyway. Libra, if you like this video, there is a like button down below. Please hit that for me. If you want to leave a message, leave a comment, let me know how this resonates in your life. Feel free to share it down below as well. And if you have not subscribed, why not consider subscribing? That would be really cool, huh? We could be best friends forever. Kidding. But anyway, if you want to show your support to the channel, please do any and all of those things. Libra, I'll be back soon with your December readings. Until then, I thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you. Bye.